Hello everybody, welcome back to Play the Game HQ. I'm Daniel, and today we are unboxing Castle Panic 2nd Edition and the Castle Panic Crowns and Quests expansion. Now these, for me, are really the crown jewel of my Gencon experience because Castle Panic was the game that got us into modern gaming. It was the game that brought us into the hobby. It was the first cooperative game we ever played, the first time that we ever experienced playing against the board, playing anything other than like Canasta and Sorry and games like that. So this game holds a special place in my heart and Allison's heart just for our family. So one of the highlights of what we've been able to do just in the board game space in the last couple of years is to develop a friendship and a relationship with Justin and Anne-Marie DeWitt. Justin is the designer of Castle Panic. They own Fireside Games. They're the publishers and creators of Castle Panic. So getting to build a friendship with them and it's been really special. So at Gencon, they invited us to the Castle Panic 2nd Edition release party as special guests. It was a great time. We got to play Castle Panic with the Crowns and Quests expansion, and they gave us a copy of each to bring home with us. And it was just special to have. So we're going to take a look at this. It has already been played, so this isn't technically an unboxing. This is a re-unboxing, kind of showing off what's in the game. So the first thing you're going to notice of Castle Panic 2nd Edition is all of the updated artwork. The game functionally is the same with this. Crowns and Quests adds a ton. We will talk about that in just a second, but let's look at what's different in the Castle Panic core game. So the artwork is all updated. It is, I think the character cards, all of that have been made much more inclusive, much more diverse, but functionally the game is the same. Same board as always, just updated artwork. You still have your segments, you still have the rings. The game, again, functionally plays the same. You have your standard castles, you have your rock, you have your wall segments and your castle segments. Same game as before. You are trying to stop the monsters from coming in from the forest and destroying your castle, and your goal is to have at least one wall standing at the end of the game. The dice has been updated a little bit. It's got the 6 sides that you roll to see where things come out on the board. You have your, can't remember what those are called. The reinforcements for the wall. You have your tar token. And the monster tokens, again, all updated artwork, but all the same monsters. When we played this at Gencon, we played with Scott and Nicole Brady. Scott Brady is he's the designer of Hues and Cues. Nicole runs the Stay at Home Mom Reviews website. They're a great couple, great friends that we've got to know over the past couple years. But if you've never played Castle Panic, after your turn, you are going to draw 2 tokens and place those monsters in the forest ring to come out. So on our first turn, again, you're only supposed to have 2 come out, and these monsters are all moving in to the castle, and you're trying to fight them off with your cards. So Scott drew on his first, it may have been the second turn of the game, but very early in the game, Scott drew the draw 4 monsters, and then I believe after that, there's a draw 2 monsters. So instead of having 2 monsters come out, it was draw 3 more monsters. So we had draw 4 and draw 3. So instead of 2 monsters come out, we had 7 monsters come out. And when you have 7 monsters come out at the same time, in addition to the monsters that are already on the board, it makes for a very interesting and very difficult hurdle to overcome playing the game. So it was fun. We lost terribly, but it was a lot of fun. I love this game. This game has some of my greatest board game memories. At our anniversary trip 4 or 5 years ago, Allison and I were playing Castle Panic, and we had a game that still sticks out of my mind that came down to the very last turn, like the last possible turn. Either we were going to lose or we were going to win based on the card draw, the dice roll, all of that. It came down to the very last turn of the game, and we won, and we celebrated, and we yelled and hollered, and it was so much fun. I love memories like that around board games, and this one again has so many of those. So you can see the green swordsman, or the green archer, green swordsman, red swordsman, but there's the brick card. Instead of just a picture of brick, it's got someone actually laying brick. You have the drive him back card. You got this great picture of the swordsman with his shield driving an orc or an ogre back into the woods. The mortar, there's a bucket of mortar there. Barbarian, giant guy with a sword, with an axe. There's the red hero, the green hero, any color swordsman. Make some room there. There's a nice shot. Make sure you can see that. Arrow hitting a goblin in the helmet. So the artwork has been updated, more inclusive, more diverse, just set of characters in the game, which is great. But functionally, this game plays the same. I'm just going to very not neatly, sorry if this bothers anyone, just slide all of this stuff off to the side, because now we're going to look at the Crowns and Quests expansion, which is where this gets really, really interesting. Now, Crowns and Quest, you do have to have a copy of the base game to play, but it adds so much to the game. With Crowns and Quests, one of the main things that you're adding is, these are not part of the game, but these are miniatures. They're painted miniatures from the prototypes that we got just as a gift from the release party. These will go somewhere special on the set because they are amazing. But one of the biggest things with the Crowns and Quests is the new characters. So in base Castle Panic, you're not playing individual characters, you're all playing on a team. In Crowns and Quests, everyone draws a random character. So there's all these different character cards. So you draw a different character and then you draw a random, there's tokens 1 through 6. You draw a random token and place it on your character, and that assigns your character to a castle space. So your castle ring, your rings here are numbered. You have 1 through 6. So you're going to assign your character to a castle space. The characters have special abilities. So Hamari the Huntress, once per turn, you may expand or contract the range of one hit card you play by 1 ring. This includes the Forest and Castle ring. So you could take a hit card, you can take a Blue Knight, and you could hit the Archer or the Swordsman ring with a Blue Knight card. So very powerful, very strategic abilities, but these characters are going to be tied to a castle ring. When that castle space on that space is destroyed, you can move to a different castle space, but once there's no empty spaces left, so if you're playing with 4 players, there's 6 castle spaces. The first 2 spaces that get destroyed, whoever is in those spaces or whoever is represented by those spaces can move, but once there's no longer any empty spaces left, you have to, you lose your character's ability. You're not out of the game, you still get to play, but your character's ability is no longer usable. So that in itself adds some really strategic, as you're looking at where you want to bring people in, there may be some new strategy just from the character element alone to well, this character is really helpful to us. Maybe we should destroy number 3 first, or let them infiltrate on number 3 and work their way around so that we maintain this ability from this character for as long as we can. This also, as you can see, this includes the Huntress card. Expanding and contracting by 1 ring includes the Forest and Castle rings, which is huge, because normally the only way you can hit somebody in the castle ring is with the Barbarian or a nice shot, I believe. There's only a couple cards that can actually do damage in the castle ring. So to have a character that can hit with regular cards, that would be with a Swordsman card, can attack in the castle ring, or a hero card, is massive. So yeah, there's 12 different characters. There's 6 spaces. Each player is going to have a character. You typically randomly draw a character just so it keeps the game fresh and random, and then you randomly draw a castle ring to assign them to, so there is some randomness to it. You can obviously, if you want to pick a character, you can, but I think typically you would just randomly choose so that you're still kind of playing a different game each time. So I'm not going to put those in there. So those are the characters. That is the first major addition to the game from the Crowns and Quest expansion. And then that would be the Crown expansion, or the Crown part of Crowns and Quests. Then you have the quests. And in your quests, you have, where does this open? Some of the quests have boards with them. Some do not. And then there's a whole bag of extra tokens right here that go with the quests. And we're not going to go through all of these. Some of them you're just going to have to see as you play, but you have standard quests and you have end-game quests. In a normal game, if you're playing with the Crowns and Quests expansion, you will choose a standard quest and an end-game quest. The only way you can beat the game is by defeating or by completing the end-game quest. Unlike normal Castle Panic, where you beat all the monsters and you win, the monsters just keep coming back out. Once you defeat them all, you throw them all back in the bag, you keep drawing, or in the box or wherever you're drawing your monsters from, and you keep drawing them. They do not stop coming until you defeat or complete the end game quest. Very frustrating, but makes a huge difference in the game. So the standard quests we have, if you complete the standard quest, you are going to get a bonus or a reward for completing the quest. So let me see, we had, yes, the one we played at Gencon was a Creeping Evil. So a Creeping Evil adds the Apocalypse Stones, which are these stones right here. Now, after you play your cards, if you're playing with the Crowns and Quest expansion, you are going to do the quest upkeep phase. So unlike normal Castle Panic, where you roll the dice and that dictates where the monsters come in, with this, you roll the dice and the dice places a stone. So I roll the dice, I roll a 4. Instead of placing a monster in 4, I still place a monster in 4 later. I'm still going to roll for the monsters, but as the quest upkeep, I place that, and this goes in the number 4 Archer Ring. Now, so during the quest upkeep phase for this specific quest, you're going to roll the dice and you're going to place a stone. If you roll a 4 again, this is going to move in. It's going to move in. Now, why is that important? Because that is the new spawn point for ring number 4. So from now on, any monsters that spawn in the 4th ring are going to spawn here. You can hit this like a normal stone, or like a normal enemy. You can defeat the stone, but it is going to spawn, anything that spawns that ring is going to spawn where this stone is. So to complete this quest, once all 6 stones have been destroyed or discarded, the quest is complete. If a stone ever hits a castle structure, it destroys all castle structures in that arc, walls, towers, fortifications, and is discarded. So if it hits a wall, it destroys everything. You don't have the buffer of hitting the wall and then hitting the castle. If it hits the wall, it destroys everything in that arc. So very, very destructive. So your goal with this, again, you're going to be rolling and placing these. If you roll something that doesn't have a stone, you place a stone there. If you roll a number that already has a stone, you're moving the stone in, and that is where the monsters spawn from when you get around to actually rolling dice to spawn the monsters. Once you get done with this, you don't win the game. You just get to start the end game quest. So players can, as a reward, players can rebuild 2 walls, and each player draws 1 card from the castle deck. So you get an extra card, you get to rebuild 2 walls. You don't get to rebuild any castles, just 2 walls. And then you move on to the end game quest, which I remember which one we played with this. It was the Siege of Lord Volkar. This was terrible. In a good way, but it was terrible. It was so hard to beat. So in the Siege of Lord Volkar, you have Volkar's Blast. Players must send warriors to attack Lord Volkar while he sends endless blasts of destructive energy towards the castle. You place 1 Volkar's Blast in the Forest Ring. There's 6 of these tokens. They go in the Forest Ring. They can be damaged, hit, or slain like monsters, but not caught on fire. They can be moved and affected by cards as well. So any cards that would move or push things back out can still do that. Rotating rings, things like that. During the monster's move phase, you move all Volkar's Blast tokens 1 space following normal monster movement rules. If it hits a castle structure, it is immediately destroyed and destroys a number of castle structures in that arc up to the value of its current health. So a 2-point blast token that hits a wall will destroy that wall and the tower behind it. Players do not draw any monster tokens for the duration of this quest. So once you start this quest, all you have to deal with is Volkar's Blast, which seems kind of easy. You have to defeat the monsters that are already on the board. But other than that, you just have these blast tokens. But once you defeat them, they go back to the forest. This is an endless cycle of Volkar's Blast coming in and trying to destroy your castle. If you defeat them, they go out to the forest and just keep coming until you complete the quest. And how do you complete the quest? Lord Volkar is slain. Once Lord Volkar is slain, no new blast tokens are placed. The players must then destroy any remaining blast tokens on the board. How do you slay Lord Volkar? On the play cards phase of their turn, a player can send warriors to attack Lord Volkar by committing as many archer, knight, and swordsman cards, color does not matter, from their hand as they wish. The players slay Lord Volkar when they have committed a total of 6 archers, 5 knights, and 4 swordsman cards. So to commit them, you put them down here. You have 6 archers, 5 knights, 4 swordsmen that you have to commit, which means those are coming out of your available cards to play. So as you are defeating Lord Volkar, you are losing available cards to play against Volkar's Blast, against the the monsters that may be remaining on the board. Once he's slain, no new blast tokens are placed. You must then destroy any remaining blast tokens on the board. The players win if they destroy the last Volkar's blast token with at least one tower remaining. So you destroy all the Volkar's blast tokens with one tower remaining and you win. But these are so difficult to beat. I'm sure there's different difficulties. Again, these are the only two that we've played. There are 6 of the in-game quests, and there are 12 of the standard quests. So there's a lot of variety, a lot of different ways to mix it up. But again, all of the standard quests, if you beat them, you are going to get a reward to take into the end-game quest, but you have to complete the standard quest and then complete the end-game quest. There's all these little different bits and towers and things that you're going to use for the quests. This is going to add so much variety to an already great, very, very replayable game. So this is, again, just a first look at Castle Panic Crowns and Quests and the Castle Panic 2nd Edition. And this game has meant so much to our family. This game has been we have so many great memories wrapped up in this game. I'm really excited to play this with the boys. We have not yet had a chance to play the Crowns and Quests with the boys. They are really excited to play it. And I love this game so much. It's an amazing game. The relationship that we built with the designers, the friendship we built with them has been so special to us. I'm so thankful for that. And just really thankful that we got to be a part of that release party, that we got to bring this game home with us so that we can play it. Our box is falling apart. Our game is pretty beat up because we have played it a lot. So having a nice fresh copy. And then we also are getting the full, the big box. We backed that because we've backed very few big boxes, but this was one that we did just because it was so special to us, because we have so much just emotional connection to this game. So we backed the big box. Really excited to get that, play with all the minis, play with all the expansions. Have loved seeing all the updates that Fireside Games has posted on their social media of their kind of first look at their copies of the game. So I will leave links below to where you can find this. I believe this is coming out later in the fall is when the Crowns and Quests and the 2nd edition are going to hit retail. It will be available at retail, so definitely take a look at it. If you're looking for a game, I love this game because it's cooperative, and cooperative games are great for, in my opinion, for families, especially with younger kids. Castle Panic has no hidden information. All the cards are face up or can be played face up. You trade cards, you help each other out. So we found this even with younger kids, with kids that were 4, 5, 6, they could understand like matching cards to a ring, matching the icons to the ring, fighting the monsters coming in. You have the numbers that show their health. So just being able to have that fun together to help them strategize, to help them see what they can do. It's just we've had a great time as a family with this. And I think games like this that have that open information are really great for helping get younger gamers into gaming and just creating a lot of fun family memories. So Castle Panic 2nd Edition, Castle Panic Crowns and Quest expansion. We'll leave links below. Thank you so much for hanging out with me while I go through this. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you later. Bye.